The scent of blooming roses and lavender from my garden drifts through my Vermont kitchen, a fleeting comfort in a home that's starting to feel like a house of traps. I'm Ruth, 68, and my days revolve around tending my flowers and preparing for my upcoming hip surgery. But yesterday, just one day before the procedure, my son Daniel and his wife Clara installed a new bathtub, its sides so high I nearly fell trying to climb in. A faint unease grew, and I hired a contractor to inspect it. The results chilled me to the bone. The design was deliberately inaccessible, meant to harm. Someone in my family is trying to sabotage me. Who and why? Middlebury, Vermont, is a town where maple trees shade the streets and neighbors swap jam at the farmer's market. My colonial-style house, with its vibrant flower garden and wide fields, sits on the town's edge, its value soaring as developers eye our historic land. To the community, we're a devoted family. Me, a widow who shares daisies at the market. Daniel, my 42-year-old son, a contractor with a steady hand. And Clara, his 39-year-old wife, a banker whose warm charm wins trust. We look like a postcard of small-town life, but beneath the surface, something's festering, and that towering bathtub is my first clue to a chilling betrayal. Daniel and Clara moved in 2 years ago, after Daniel's construction business hit financial trouble. I welcomed them, glad to have my son close, and their offer to renovate my bathroom before my surgery seemed thoughtful. Clara insisted the new tub would be safer, and Daniel's expertise as a contractor gave me confidence. I trusted them, grateful for their care, expecting a low, accessible design for my recovery. But when I saw the tub's high sides, I struggled to step in, my hip screaming in protest. The contractor's report, confirming the tub was intentionally built to be hazardous, turned my gratitude into dread, a realization that their concern was a facade. I sit at my kitchen table, the contractor's report in my hand, its words a silent accusation. My fingers tremble as I recall Clara's earnest explanation of the tub's safety features, Daniel's nod of approval as they installed it. Daniel's a contractor, with skills to design such a trap. But why would he risk my safety? My house, now worth a fortune, could be a motive, or perhaps my savings, built over decades. But Clara, always lingering, her hand brushing Daniel's too often. Could she be more than a wife? The thought of their betrayal, tangled with infidelity, feels like a thorn piercing my heart, stealing my breath. I step into my garden, the cool night air soothing my racing thoughts, the fragrance of roses grounding me. These flowers, marigolds, lilies, roses, are my pride. Each bloom nurtured through Vermont's harsh winters with care, much like the family I've tried to hold together. But now, I see weeds where I saw beauty. I think of Mrs. Harper, who buys my zinnias at the market, last month. She leaned close and said, "Ruth, watch that son." Men like Daniel get restless with a wife like Clara. I smiled, dismissing it. But her words haunt me now. And Clara, who used to help me weed, has been distant, her eyes flickering when Daniel mentions my surgery. What did I miss to make them turn? The contractor's report, hidden in my sewing kit, is a stark warning. I could confront them now, demand answers, but my instincts scream caution. If Daniel and Clara rigged the tub, they're banking on my trust, expecting me to remain the doting mother, the frail widow. The high sides suggest a plan, perhaps to cause an accident, to claim my house, my savings, or something darker. I think of my late husband's inheritance, a steady fund I've saved, and this house, a developer's prize. Are they after that? Fueled by secrets I don't yet know, I won't let them win without a struggle. Tomorrow, I'll avoid the tub, gather more evidence, and watch their every move to unearth the truth behind their care. I linger among my lavender, their leaves soft under my fingers, anchoring me in this moment of clarity. I've always been the caretaker, the one who nurtures, but now I'm the one who must defend. The tub's design wasn't a mistake, it's a signal, a threat from someone I love. I replay Daniel's careful installation, Clara's quiet encouragement as I admired it. Were they watching me falter, plotting their next step? I'm not ready to challenge them yet, but I'm awake, my senses sharp. This garden, this home, is my life's work, and I'll fight to protect it, no matter how deep their betrayal runs. I turn to you now, because I know you felt this. That moment when the ones you trust most seem to hide danger in their care. Have you ever questioned the changes they make to your home? I'm just a woman from a small Vermont town, but I'm ready to uncover the truth. No matter how bitter it is, let me know where you're watching from today. And if you're new here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our growing community. We're in this together. And trust me, this story is just beginning to bloom. The morning light spills across my Middlebury, Vermont, garden, illuminating the roses and lavender. But its warmth can't ease the cold dread gripping my heart. I'm Ruth, 68, and the contractor's report confirming the deliberately high-sided bathtub installed by my son Daniel and his wife Clara, now hidden in my sewing kit, is proof someone in my family is trying to harm me just before my hip surgery. Their gentle smiles and cautious glances tell me they're watching for suspicion, so I can't confront them yet. I've spent years nurturing my flowers, spotting weeds before they choke the blooms, and now I'll use that vigilance to uncover their plan. I sip my coffee, avoiding the bathroom, and start with subtle steps. Daniel's in the dining room, sketching renovation plans, his contractor's focus unsettling now that I know the truth. I watch him, noting how he closes his notebook when I enter, his grin too quick, ready for surgery. Mom, he asks, mentioning the tub's safety upgrades. I nod, citing hip pain, and see a flicker of unease in his eyes. Clara bustles in, her banker's neatness crisp, her cheer almost too bright. I'm off to the bank, she says, brushing Daniel's arm before leaving. Her touch lingers, and I decide to dig into Clara's secrets first, then follow Daniel to see what he's concealing. When the house is quiet, Daniel at his construction site, Clara at the bank, I slip into their bedroom. It feels wrong, invading their space, but the tub's sabotage outweighs my guilt. Clara's desk is orderly, but under a stack of financial reports, I find a locked diary, its key tucked in a drawer. My hands tremble as I open it, revealing entries about keeping Ruth safe and meeting E. last week at the Maple Leaf Cafe in Burlington, a cozy spot unfit for business. I snap photos of the pages, my mind racing. Is E a person? And is Clara plotting something beyond renovations? The diary hints at a motive tied to my house. I'm about to search more when I hear Daniel's truck in the driveway. Home early. I replace the diary and retreat to the kitchen, pretending to water herbs. He's distracted, muttering about a client, but I notice a new work order on the counter, listing custom tub for my bathroom. That night, I wait until they're asleep and examine the bathroom, finding the tub's edges polished to a deceptive sheen, confirming the contractor's report. I save a photo, my resolve hardening. Daniel's construction skills make him the likely culprit, but why my farmhouse, worth a fortune, could be a target, or my savings. But Clara's role gnaws at me. Her insistence on the tub feels too calculated. I decide to follow Clara, to see what her bank meetings involve. The next day, I drive to Middlebury's town square, parking across from the Green Mountain Bistro, where I spot her car. Clara's inside, not at the bank, sitting with a woman I recognize, Ellen Vance, a real estate agent who once pitched selling my house. They talk closely, Ellen's hand resting on Clara's, and I snap photos with my phone, my hands unsteady. Why is Clara meeting a realtor I call my friend Martha, a contractor who inspected the tub, and described the woman? Martha's voice drops. Ellen's been cozy with Daniel at construction events, always too close. Be careful. Ruth, the connection. Daniel, Clara, Ellen, and my house feels like a trap. Tightening. That afternoon, I plant a small digital recorder in the living room, hidden behind a jar of dried lavender. While they sleep, I retrieve it, listening in my garden under the moonlight. The recording captures Daniel's voice. Low and tense, Ellen says the sale's ready if she's out soon. Clara's reply shocks me. The tub's working, she's avoiding it. We're close. My knees weaken. They're not just risking an accident, they're planning to force me out, likely to sell my farmhouse. The real estate angle suggests a deeper scheme tied to infidelity, and Clara's complicity is a knife in my heart. Back home, I keep up appearances, pruning my roses while Daniel hammers in his workshop and Clara balances ledgers. But my eyes catch every detail: Clara's glance at the bathroom door when I pass, Daniel's quick nod when I avoid bathing, citing discomfort. Their silent exchange feels like confirmation. Later, I check the bathroom, finding a tool receipt tucked in a drawer, linked to the tub's custom order, dated days before my surgery. I send it to Martha for verification, my heart heavy. The diary, the photos, the recording, they're building a picture of betrayal. But Daniel's role breaks me. I think of him as my son, helping me plant marigolds, his laughter warm. Now, he's part of a dangerous plot, and I need to know how deep it goes. I sit in my garden, the stars bright above my lilies, the tool receipt, the diary entries, the sale, they're pieces of a puzzle pointing to a plan to take my home, my safety. Daniel's affair with Ellen is clear, but Clara's complicity is a wound I can't ignore. I recall our last market day, when Clara helped me sell daisies, her smile genuine. That daughter-in-law's gone, replaced by someone who sees me as an obstacle. I clutch the bistro photos, my heart torn between love and rage. I'm not ready to confront them, but I'm watching, and I won't let them make me fall. This garden, this house, is mine, and I'll fight to keep it. The Vermont summer hums with life outside my Middlebury farmhouse. The vibrant roses and lavender in my garden, a stark contrast to the betrayal seeping through my family. I'm Ruth, 68, and the evidence piling up: a deliberately high-sided bathtub, Clara's diary, Daniel's bistro meeting with Ellen. A recorded conversation sits locked in my sewing kit, proof that my son Daniel and his wife Clara, with real estate agent Ellen Vance, are plotting to harm me before my hip surgery for their own gain. The photos of Clara's diary mentioning E and the recording about a house sale haunt me, but I need more to unravel their scheme. My garden, once a sanctuary, now feels like a battlefield, and I'm ready to fight, but I must be cunning to protect my blooms. I focus on Daniel's affair with Ellen, whose bistro meeting suggests a plot to sell my property. That evening, Daniel's in the kitchen, reviewing construction blueprints, his phone buzzing incessantly. I notice his wallet, left on the counter, a rare oversight. When he steps out to take a call, I flip it open, finding a receipt for a romantic dinner in Montpelier, dated last week, for two at the Birchwood Cafe, a spot too intimate for colleagues. My heart sinks. The getaway confirms infidelity, not business. With Ellen, I pocket the receipt, my mind racing. Are they rigging the tub to cause an accident, ensuring I can't fight their real estate deal? I decide to track Daniel, to see where his client meetings lead. The next night, he announces a site inspection, offering a quick grin before driving off. I wait 10 minutes, then follow in my hatchback, keeping distance as his truck heads not to a job site but to a secluded motel, the Frosty Pine Inn, on Middlebury's outskirts. Ellen's car is parked outside, her silhouette visible as Daniel joins her in a room. My throat tightens. I snap photos from my car. The cameras click, steadying my trembling hands. They're not just lovers, they're conspiring, and my farmhouse, my safety, is their prize. I need to know what they're planning at that motel. I shift to Clara, whose diary and recorded comments suggest she's deeply involved. The next morning, I return to the Green Mountain Bistro, parking discreetly across the street. Clara's at a corner table, Ellen across from her, their conversation intense. I zoom in with my phone, capturing Ellen handing Clara a small folder, possibly sale documents or renovation plans, which Clara tucks into her purse. My pulse races. Is it proof of the house deal I need that folder? I call Martha, my contractor friend who inspected the tub, and describe the exchange. Martha's voice is grim. Ellen's been pitching your house for sale, and Clara's been seen with her at real estate events. Be careful. Ruth. The link: Daniel, Clara, Ellen. And my property feels like a noose tightening. That night, I plant another recorder in the dining room, hidden behind a vase of daisies. While they sleep, I listen in my garden, the moonlight silvering my marigolds. The recording captures Daniel and Clara, her voice sharp. Ellen says we need her out soon. The buyers are ready. Daniel's reply chills me. The tub's perfect, she can't use it. We're close. My stomach lurches. They're escalating. Planning to force an accident to sell my house, with Clara ensuring the tub's sabotage. The folder Ellen gave her must contain sale contracts, and I need to secure it. I confront Clara the next day, keeping my anger in check. She's in the living room, balancing bank statements, and I sit beside her, casually mentioning the tub's high sides. Why is it so tall, I ask, watching her closely. Her pen pauses, but she laughs it off. Just modern design. Ruth, I press, noting my near falls. Clara's composure cracks, her voice rising. You're imagining things. It's fine, but her eyes betray panic, and she hurries out, leaving her purse. I seize the chance, finding the folder inside a draft contract for my house's sale, listing Ellen as the agent. My blood runs cold. Clara's not just supportive, she's plotting against me. Part of a scheme I need to dismantle. I visit Martha that afternoon, needing her steady perspective. She's appalled. Confirming the tub's design could cause severe injury, especially post-surgery. She urges me to go to the police, but I need more to ensure Daniel and Ellen can't slip away. Martha connects me with a private investigator to trace Ellen's real estate dealings. Back home, I avoid the tub, using a basin, and notice Daniel's frustration, his eyes narrowing when I skip bathing, claiming discomfort. Clara's quieter, her guilt evident, but she still defends Daniel, raising my doubts. The folder, the photos, the recording. They're building a case, but Daniel's role breaks me. I think of him as my son, sharing market days with me, his smile warm. Now, he's part of a treacherous plot, and I need to know how deep it goes. I sit in my garden, the stars bright above my lilies, the contract, the diary, the motel. They're pieces of a puzzle pointing to a plan to take my home, my safety. Daniel's affair with Ellen, their scheme with Clara. Clara's complicity, it's a betrayal that cuts deep. I recall our last market trip, when Daniel helped me sell zinnias, his laugh genuine. That son's gone, replaced by someone who sees me as an obstacle. I clutch the contract photos, my heart torn between love and fury. I'm not ready to face them fully, but I'm close, and I won't let them think I'm frail. My gardens survived storms, and I'll survive this, stronger than they know. The Vermont twilight weaves a soft glow over my Middlebury garden, but the vibrant roses and lavender can't mask the betrayal festering within my family. I'm Ruth, 68, and my flower beds, once a haven of beauty, now stand witness to a sinister plot. The evidence: a deliberately high-sided bathtub, Clara's diary, Daniel's motel receipt, recorded conversations, and a sale contract sits locked in my sewing kit. Proof that my son Daniel, his wife Clara, and real estate agent Ellen Vance are trying to harm me before my hip surgery to seize my farmhouse. The contract naming Ellen as the agent and the recording about a sale drive me, but I need Clara's truth to dismantle their scheme. I'm not the frail mother they plan to topple. I'm a marigold, rooted deep, ready to uproot their lies. I target Clara, whose diary and recorded comments confirm her deep involvement, willingly or coerced. I invite her to the garden at dusk, claiming I need help pruning roses, my voice steady to conceal my intent. She arrives, her banker's blouse slightly rumpled, her eyes shadowed with unease. I kneel by a lavender bush, shears in hand, and ask casually about the bathtub's design, watching her closely, just for safety. "Ruth," she mumbles, her fingers twisting a petal. Betraying nerves, I press gently, mentioning my near falls, and her face drains of color. "Clara, I know the tub was built to hurt me," I say, my tone firm but low. "Tell me everything, or we're done." Her composure collapses, tears streaming as she sinks to the grass, her sobs echoing in the quiet garden. Clara's voice trembles as she confesses, "Daniel's with Ellen. She said the tub would just scare you, not cause real harm." She reveals Daniel's affair with Ellen, who exploited Clara's fear of losing him to involve her in the plan, claiming they needed to sell the house to secure their future. Clara thought the high sides would only inconvenience you, forcing a move, unaware they could cause a serious fall until I mentioned the contractor's report. Ellen promised a cut of the sale to stabilize their finances. "I'm so sorry. Ruth," she cries, clutching my sleeve. My heart aches for my daughter-in-law. But trust is a fragile bloom. "Prove it," I say, my voice unwavering. "Help me stop them, or you're as guilty as they are." Clara nods, sobbing, agreeing to cooperate. But I question whether her remorse is genuine or a desperate bid to save herself. I deepen my investigation, needing more to trap Daniel and Ellen. I plant another recorder in the kitchen, hidden in a potted daisy, its petals concealing my secret. Late that night, I listen in my garden, the moonlight casting silver across my zinnias. The recording captures Daniel and Ellen, her voice sharp through a phone call Clara's wavering. "We need to push the sale now. The tub's too slow." Daniel's reply freezes me. I'll adjust it to be worse. She's already scared. My knees buckle, the betrayal cutting deeper. They're escalating, planning a catastrophic accident to sell my house, with Clara as their reluctant tool. Her confession gives me leverage, but I need to ensure she won't falter under Daniel's influence or Ellen's manipulation. I meet Martha the next morning, needing her steady perspective to anchor my resolve. She's horrified, confirming the tub's design could cause severe injury, especially post-surgery. She urges me to contact the authorities, but I explain I need Clara's testimony to make the case airtight, and I'm uncertain of her loyalty. Martha connects me with a private investigator to dig into Ellen's real estate dealings. Back home, I avoid the tub, using a wash basin, and notice Daniel's agitation, his eyes narrowing when I skip bathing, claiming hip pain. Clara's subdued, her guilt evident in her slumped posture. But she still calls Daniel honey, raising my doubts. The contract, the recordings, the bistro photos, they're a net closing around them. But Clara's allegiance is my weakest link. I tail Ellen to her real estate office in Middlebury, parking discreetly across the street, my heart pounding. She's meeting a developer, gesturing with a folder likely containing my house's sale documents. I snap photos, my hands steady despite the fury inside. Overhearing her mention closing next week, I feel a surge of urgency. Back home, I search Clara's purse again, finding a hidden email printout from Ellen. Daniel raised the sides higher. Sale by month's end. The printout, the affair. Clara's role, It's a calculated strike to end my safety and claim my legacy. I think of Clara at our last market day, helping me sell lilies. Her smile warm. Her garden tears suggest remorse, but I need her to prove it beyond words. I confront Clara again, privately in the kitchen, showing her the printout. "This is their plan," I say, my voice low but sharp. "You're either with me to stop them, or you're with them, hurting me." She sobs, swearing she'll help, offering to retrieve Ellen's text from Daniel's phone. I agree, but my trust is a thin thread. I sit in my garden, the stars twinkling above my roses, their resilience mirroring my own. The printout, the photos, the recordings, they're my arsenal, but Clara's cooperation is a gamble I must take. Daniel's affair, Ellen's greed, Clara's complicity, it's a betrayal that cuts to my core. Mrs. Harper's warning about Daniel was a lifeline, guiding me through this storm. I'm close to ending their scheme, but I need Clara to hold firm, and I'll summon every ounce of cunning to face Daniel and Ellen without losing her or my strength. The Vermont night enfolds my Middlebury garden in a quiet hush. The stars above my roses, a faint beacon against the betrayal threatening my home. I'm Ruth, 68 in my flower beds, once a cradle of beauty. Now stand witness to a family's treacherous plot. The evidence: deliberately high-sided bathtub, Clara's diary, Daniel's motel receipt, recorded conversations, a sale contract, and Ellen's email sits locked in my sewing kit. Proof that my son Daniel, his wife Clara, and real estate agent Ellen Vance schemed to harm me before my hip surgery for their own gain. Clara's tearful garden confession, vowing to help expose them, is my leverage. But I must act decisively to end their plan. I'm not the frail mother they planned to topple. I'm a lily, rooted deep, ready to reclaim my strength with fierce resolve. I arrange a private family meeting at my home, inviting Daniel, Clara, and Ellen, framing it as a discussion about my post-surgery care to lower their guard. The dining room, with its walnut table and vase of fresh marigolds, becomes a stage under the chandelier's soft glow. Clara sits tensely, her eyes flicking to me, her role as my ally fragile but crucial. Daniel sips coffee, his contractor's confidence strained, unaware of my trap. Ellen, posing as a real estate friend, exudes poise, oblivious to my knowledge. I've hidden a recorder in a potted daisy, its petals concealing my plan to capture their words. I serve maple-glazed carrots and cornbread, steering the conversation to my struggles with the bathtub, noting Ellen's subtle smirk. My heart pounds, but my resolve is unyielding. Halfway through, I place the contractor's report on the table, its stark findings glaring. "Daniel, why's the tub built to hurt me?" I ask, my gaze piercing. Daniel's cup clatters, his face paling. "Just a design choice." "Mom," he stammers, his voice unsteady. I produce the sale contract, my tone calm but sharp. It's deliberate sabotage. "Daniel, I had it inspected." Clara gasps, her distress rehearsed, and Ellen's smile falters, her eyes narrowing. I play the kitchen recording, Daniel's voice clear. "Raise the sides higher. She's already scared." Ellen's recorded push for the sale echoes, and the room grows heavy with guilt. "You plan to injure me," I say, turning to Clara. "But you're not alone." I reveal the diary entries, motel photos, and Ellen's email urging a higher tub. Ellen interrupts, accusing Clara, but I cut her off, my voice steady, weaving their own words against them. "I know about your affair, Daniel, and Ellen's plan to sell my house." The recorder hums silently, capturing every word. Clara, as planned, speaks, her voice breaking. "Ellen used Daniel. She said the tub wouldn't really hurt you, just scare you." Her confession, sealed in our garden pact, turns Ellen ashen, her hands trembling. Daniel lunges at Clara, shouting, "You betrayed us, but I stand firm. My presence a quiet thunder." I face Daniel, my voice like tempered steel. "You and Ellen will leave my life tonight, or I'll expose your affair and sabotage to everyone in Middlebury." Ellen's eyes widen, her social standing at stake, and Daniel's shoulders slump. Defeated, I turn to Clara, my tone unwavering. "You stay only if you prove your loyalty. Starting now." They leave. Ellen's arrogance shattered, Daniel's dreams in ruins, their scheme exposed by my calculated trap. Clara's tears confirm her choice to stand with me, though her complicity lingers like a bruise. I reclaim my home, hiring a trusted contractor to install an accessible shower, symbolizing my regained autonomy. I sever ties with Daniel, banning him from my life, while allowing Clara a chance to rebuild trust through consistent actions. I walk to my garden, the moonlight bathing my roses, their resilience mirroring my own. "I'm staying here," I say to the night, "because this is my home, and no one takes it." My farmhouse stands as my sanctuary, its walls echoing my triumph. Daniel's reputation frays, his affair whispered in town, while Ellen's real estate career falters under scrutiny. Clara's redemption is her burden, her daily efforts her penance. I've safeguarded my safety, my home, and no one will trap me again. I stand among my daisies, their scent grounding me in this moment of victory. Their betrayal was meant to break me, but I saw the trap and fought back. I reflect on the decades I gave Daniel and Clara, the love I poured into a family that faltered under infidelity and greed. But I'm unbroken, a rose thriving in rocky soil, my roots unyielding. Middlebury's gossip will fade, and my garden will flourish, a testament to my strength. Daniel and Ellen underestimated me, but Clara's choice to confess offers a fragile hope for healing. Those scars remain. I've reclaimed my autonomy, my legacy, and I'll bloom, stronger than they ever imagined. I turn to you, because you've walked this storm with me. Betrayal from those you cherish wounds deeply, but it doesn't have to define you. I saw the tub's danger and stood tall, and you can too. What would you do if your family turned your home into a trap? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your voice matters. If you're new here, like and subscribe to join our community. Next time, we'll uncover a secret buried in an old basement suitcase. A tale of lies and redemption you won't want to miss. I'm Ruth, rooted in Middlebury, stronger than they ever dreamed. Thank you for being here.